You probably heard of rotator cuff muscles, and they're doing this kind of rotational movement. That's why it's called rotator cuff. And that's all you can find on the internet if you Google up those muscles. But that's not the only function of the rotator cuff. Hi guys, 안전joy, Mr.Physio here. So in the last video we talked about the types of shoulder impingements and how it happens, and the role of the shoulder blade movement to avoid that shoulder impingement. Today we are going to talk about the rotator cuff muscles. There are 4 rotator cuff muscles, but I'll do one on the front first, and then second one on top, and the remaining 2 in the last video. So there will be 2 more videos coming. Let's have a look at the function of the rotator cuff muscles. The primary mover of the upper arm bone is actually deltoid muscles. So when the deltoid muscles lift your arm up, the rotator cuff muscles pull the head of the humerus downwards. Again, when the deltoid muscles pull your arm up, the rotator cuff muscles pull your head of the humerus downwards. Without this action, the humerus will definitely hit the undersurface of the acromion, which is shoulder impingement. That's why the rotator cuff muscles is so important. So let's say my head is head of humerus, this one. And this bar is acromion, the tip of the shoulder. And you've got collarbone attached like this. So there's a ceiling. So we shouldn't actually hit the ceiling, right? But the deltoid, pulls me up this way. Deltoid starts from here. So that pulls me up this way. So it's likely to hit the ceiling. My head is going to hit the ceiling, right? And there's muscle between my head and this bar. If my head hits the ceiling, I will pinch the muscle up here. But someone else, rotator cuff muscles, they pull my ear down. Watch out! Keep your head down, keep your head down. Pulling my ears down. We've got more space there. And then I can move backwards, which means the humerus goes up without hitting the ceiling. So to avoid that, the rotator cuff function is critical. Therefore, when you think of it, the rotator cuff muscles have to fight against that stretched force. So when the upper arm bone goes up, this muscle is being stretched out, but it has to fight against it, which means your muscle is being used while it's being stretched out. Does it sound familiar? That sounds very familiar to me because that's what I'm always emphasizing in this channel. It is an eccentric contraction. It is a lengthening of the muscle. That's why we need to train them in a similar way, which I will show you later. First muscle, subscapularis, is starting from the inside of the shoulder blade and going to attach on the front part of your upper arm bone. So when it contracts, that's pulling your shoulder inwards, pulling your arm inwards like this. Okay, but we actually do a lot of things with our arms, like rotated inwards like this: computer, cooking, driving, whatever. When you stand up, if your thumb's pointing inwards rather than forward, that means your arms are already rotated inwards, unless you have some, pronator, so a forearm muscle tightness. Some people already have round shoulder and their arm rotated inwards. That means you put that muscle into the shortened position, and if your muscle sits in a shortened position for a long time, that will get tightened up. And once it gets tightened up, that's pulling your shoulder blade in that way, out to the side, like this. To massage that muscle, you need something like this. Anything that you can apply pressure with. I'm using my tripod. When you bring your arm up away from you, about maybe 60 degree, like that. If it's 90 degree, you just go about 60 degree. So the inside of the shoulder blade, it will be a bit exposed. So you just stick the thing into the inside of the shoulder blade, like this. This is my armpit here. If you press your fingertips into the back of the armpit, you can actually feel a bit of bony area. If you feel numb in your hand, of course you shouldn't continue, but just apply gentle pressure so that you can loosen up that muscle. Don't push into your armpit, of course. You just push from the front backwards. like this. If you can't do that, it's okay, you just do the exercises, the next exercise. So the muscle's main action is rotating your arm inwards like that. So anything that brings your arm inwards, that's activating that muscle. And if your arm goes backwards like this, your muscle is being stretched out. So we'll activate the muscle and stretch out at the same time. So I'm push my hand against something, against the wall, against furniture or whatever. Just push that, and I've just activated my muscle, and from there I am rotating out to the side, away from the arm, and that's actually stretching out that muscle. So shoulders back, and push your hand into something that's activated that subscapularis, and then you're actually rotating your whole body away from the hand. That's lengthening that muscle, that's stretching that muscle. So your muscle is activated and you're slowly stretching out that muscle, which means your muscle is being used at the same time being lengthened. That's how you use that muscle when you lift your arm up, like I said. So deltoid muscle is pulling you up, but that muscle, the subscapularis, is pulling your humerus, head of the humerus downwards that way. Aww. Hope that makes sense. You can even do it with your hand. So pushing into your other hand. My right side is the one I'm working on. So your right hand pushing into your left hand, and try to push away with your left hand while pushing it in. Probably I put it this way. So left hand pushing your right hand away from you while right hand is kind of resisting. But let the left hand slowly win. Maybe from here to there. That's a good starting point. And you can, once you can do that without any pain, you can probably push in and just slowly rotate your arm, to rotate your whole body away from you, from your right hand. So when you do that, you probably want to have some space between your body and the arm itself, elbow I mean. And then once you can do that, 0-degree angle, you can go a little bit out to the side, 45-degree, 0-degree, and lift your arm a little bit higher, push into the wall, and just rotate. And again, keeping your shoulder backwards. Don't push it too far forward. So 0-degree, 45-degree we've just done, and 90-degree. Push your hand into the wall. And rotate your body away from the hand. So today I've just explained the different function of the rotator cuff, and a little bit deeper in terms of the subscapularis, which is one of the rotator cuff muscles. So please wait for my next videos. I've got 2 more videos to address the rest of the rotator cuff muscles. So I will see you next time. And enjoy.